Can Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batch C924 get me as weak in the knees as last year's batch C923? Stay tuned to find out.
Cynple whiskey, Cyncere. Here to keep it 100. What's the ABV? Keep it simple. Cynple whiskey, and be sweeter.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Cynple Whiskey Show. I'm Cyncere, and tonight we're going to see if batch C924 can live up to the hype created by last year's C923 batch. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bells and stay up to date on all things Cynple Whiskey. Let's jump right in. This is the third and final batch of 2024, coming in at 129 proof, $75 MSRP. What's not to love? Well, not so fast. Last year's C923 ended in the top 3 in my best whiskey of 2024. I'm not sure if it finished in #1 or if that went to Stag, but go back and watch the video and let me know in the comments which one ended up winning. It was the last video of the year. To say I have high expectations of this would be the understatement of the year. So much so that I went to a second store and bought a backup bottle, sight unseen, bottle untasted. I don't typically do that. Let's get into the bottle. With Virginia ABC now going to a random allocated system, I've only recently been able to get my hands on this bottle, and I believe it came out in September. Given the regret I had by not being able to get a backup last year of C923, I made it a point this time to get me a second bottle. So the way that it worked, regional managers get to dictate when they put out allocated bottles. They put them out at least once a week. Sometimes you get basic Buffalo Trace, other times you get regular allocated bottles thrown in the mix, kind of like this one. And whether they put out 1 bottle or 10 bottles, you as an individual can only buy one of whatever they put out. Most of these bottles don't last. So again, it creates a lot of stress, a lot of heavy thought that needs to go into which bottles you can purchase. That's why I had to go to 2 stores to get a backup of this. While I do applaud the effort, I'm like, come on, bro, for real? Enough chit chat, let's get to sipping. As you can see, I've had a pour of this, or 4, not tonight, but I have had quite a few tastings of this. I am curious to see just how much this has opened up. Let's try the nose. Very rich. First sip of the night, first nose of the night, so it is coming off a little bit harsh. Get a very oaky note up front, a little bit of burnt caramel, and a little bit of citrus. Let's take a sip. Not feeling that proof as much as I thought I would at 129 proof, first sip of the night. Get a little bit of a cinnamony note, a little bit of oak, a bit of that caramel that I do enjoy, almost like a nutty caramel note. Really long finish on this. Definitely get a little more of that caramel on the finish. I really like it. Let's take one more sip. Second sip, still just as hearty as the first. It did mellow out just a bit, but I do still get a bit of that peppery note coming through, especially on the end. Smidge of cinnamon, not so much this time, more of a baking spice than a cinnamon. And I still get that nutty caramel finish. It's really smooth, I do like it. Higher proof though. Overall, a really nice pour. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna add a few drops of water to this one, see how much it opens up, take another sip, and then I'll give you my simple thoughts. So now that we have the water added, let's see if the nose opens up anymore. A lot less harsh, still a stronger nose on it than some of the things I've added water to that really mellow out. Definitely a little more minute. It's like a ripe citrusy note. Still get a little more of that caramel. Not quite as burnt as it was on the first go around. Let's give it a sip. I added 5 or 6 drops of water to it. It definitely tames down that punch. That cinnamony note is almost non-existent. But that caramel note is enhanced, a little more rich. Palatable is the word that comes to mind, a little more drinkable. This right here, I think I would recommend for anybody who, if you typically linger around the 1 to 110 mark, this reminds me of like a 110 proof with just 5 drops of water in it. You don't have to go too crazy with the water, but add 3, take a sip, add 3 more, take another sip. But man, it's definitely different. I like it. All right, simple thoughts. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batch C924. MSRP on this, $74.99. Not bad for what you get out of this bottle. Secondary pricing, seen it as high as 90 to 100 bucks. Not sure I'd pay that for it, but again, not a crazy jump like you see on some bottles on the secondary market. Age statement on this one, 11 years. Less than the OG Elijah Craig barrel proofs, but I'm not complaining, still good stuff. Proof, 129. Feel the burn. Distillery, Heaven Hill. Simple advice on this one. Not sure this is an absolute backup. Yes, I did back my bottle up. Again, a little bit of FOMO kicked in when I was buying it and I knew what I missed out on last year. But my simple advice on this one would be to just buy it. I don't think you necessarily need a backup bottle. I've been as liberal with this one as I have been solely because I know I have a backup bottle. My Elijah Craig C923 from last year probably has about the same amount in it and I had it for a year. So the question at the top of the show, is this better than last year's C923 batch? At the first sip or the fifth? Nah, bruh. It doesn't hit me like the C923 did. This is good. No knock to this, but I mean, it had a lot to live up to. This is just decent, high proof, solid pour, whereas the C923, I get Stag Junior vibes every time I have a sip of that, and I really enjoy Stag Junior, or just Stag now that they removed Junior. Well, I do appreciate the complexity. Again, 11 years is not nothing to balk at. It's not the 12 year that it used to be. I'm just saying, I don't get that wow factor I got from C923. You've had a chance to taste this one. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think of this. And if you've had C923, did it stack up for you or do you prefer the C923? If you enjoyed the review, made it this far, don't forget to give a thumbs up, share your comments down below on your thoughts on the bottle. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple stories in the glass. As I've said in the past, life's too short to leave bottles unopened, so let's get to sipping. And until next time, may your glasses be full and your stories be fuller. Keep it simple. Cheers.